Hey guys, welcome to week 6. This video is just a little overview of what's happening this week. There's 2 discussions that are filled with lots of work. Remember, our class is a hybrid. We only get to see each other for 1 hour. The remaining 4 hours of the class are online, so there's a lot of work to do when you're not in class. I just want to remind you that it's your duty to make sure that you are devoting enough time to your studies, specifically with composition, because it takes time to learn how to write and to learn how to do it well. Time, and the most important thing, practice. So here I am on the home page, week 6. We have, again, 2 discussions and a self-evaluation. The first discussion is what we're going to start this week, which is Henry David Thoreau's Civil Disobedience. It is a lengthy piece in a packet that I'm going to hand out. The packet is also on the home page in a PDF version. But if you click on the discussion, it says Civil Disobedience. Finish reading Thoreau's Civil Disobedience or listen along. If you're interested in listening along to the reading, it's about 1 hour and 20 minutes. I'm just going to click on it.
On the Duty of Civil Disobedience by Henry David Thoreau. 1849, original title, Resistance to Civil Government.
So again, if you click on the YouTube video, it will go straight to the reading. Someone does the reading of Thoreau, and you can go ahead and follow along. I encourage you to do that. You're allowing yourself to tap into several different ways of experiencing. You have that visual aspect because you're actually watching it or hopefully following along in your packet. You have the tactile because you're annotating as you read. You're writing on your packet, the one that I'm going to hand out this week. And then also you're listening. You're accessing the auditory sense. So that's actually 3 different senses to kind of engage and interpret and embed the information. Again, this is an older piece written in, I believe, 1846, around there. And so the language is different than how we speak today. And so that's one of the barriers and one of the obstacles you'll have to navigate as you're reading it, is the actual language and the jargon and the rhetoric of Henry David Thoreau. Again, this is our first opportunity to look specifically at a text and to apply the rhetorical framework, looking at ethos, logos, pathos with our rhetorical triangle, the how of how a writer conveys a message and convinces their audience, what kind of craft or technique the actual writer is using. So again, we're testing that out on Henry David Thoreau's Civil Disobedience in this discussion. It is a challenging reading, and it is one that may be confusing and difficult to navigate, and it will be easier the more we talk about it. And so that's what this discussion is for, to finish the reading, and then you're going to open up your journal and you're going to free write in response to Thoreau's piece for 10 minutes. Remember, writing practice is essential. Keep that hand going for 10 minutes. You can latch onto a quote if that's interesting to you. You can just write off the cuff your thoughts about the term, the concept of civil disobedience. Anything that stood out to you from the reading that's still marinating in your head is probably a good thing to write about, because your mind is still there. Your mind is still wanting to process that information. So again, you're going to do your free write after listening to or doing the reading for 10 minutes, and then you're going to engage with the discussion. So on this discussion, you're going to look through Thoreau's piece, find a golden line or a quote of his that stands out to you, and then you're going to post 2 paragraphs to the discussion, telling us your favorite line, that golden line, why you picked it, how it stirs you, and or what you think about it. Your challenge in this discussion is to navigate Thoreau with grace and patience, and then hop on the discussion board and discuss it with us. Share your thoughts. I'm going to actually take this part off. I pushed the reading response due date for Thoreau to the following week, so we would have more time to discuss it in class, so you can ignore this for now. It won't be on there when you hop back on. But again, your task for this discussion is to read over Thoreau. So I'm just going to go back to the home page and show you the next discussion, discussion number 2. So discussion number 2 is continuing on with our textbook, They Say, I Say. You're going to grab your textbook. I grabbed mine from the car. Yay! My car is my other office. You're going to grab They Say, I Say. You're going to open up to the introduction, which is entering the conversation, right? So you're going to be opening up this chapter. It's also attached in PDF to last week's discussion if you don't have it. And you're going to be reading about what it means to enter into an academic conversation. How all of our thoughts are in response to things that people have already said, so discussions. So you're looking at the world as an entire space of conversations, people talking about ideas and sharing ideas and listening to one another and collaborating on making meaning together through discussion and conversation. So as you're reading this, you're going to annotate it, you're going to have your pen out, your highlighter out, and you're going to be going through it, highlighting, underlining words, phrases, quotes, ideas that stand out to you, that seem important to you, that you want to go back and use later. So that's your task, is go annotating as you read, and then to jump into your journal immediately or while you're reading. Sometimes I'll do the cluster while I'm reading, while it's fresh in my mind. You have to be very good at kind of multitasking if you do that, because you'll be annotating the book and then you'll be jumping over to your journal to do a cluster. So you're clustering the reading here. I just made a link to clustering in case you forgot. I use these all the time in class. It's spatial relationships between ideas, graphically organizing ideas. So in the center, you're going to put the introduction, entering the conversation here where expectations is, and all your ideas will branch off that. On your cluster, you can put quotes, you can put phrases, you can put terms, you can even write a template on there if you see one in the chapter, but that is your task, reading and then making your own cluster. I also added a YouTube video I found on the introduction, kind of introducing you to the framework for They Say, I Say. And if you're interested in watching that, it's about, I think, 20 minutes. And then your job for this discussion is hop on the discussion board and share your thoughts on the introduction. My question for you guys to share, to answer in terms of to share your ideas, is what is the most significant line or idea that you found in this section? In other words, what is one piece of advice that you find useful? You're going to share it to the discussion board in MLA, meaning you're going to quote it and you're going to add the page number in parentheses, and then you're going to tell us why you found it relevant. Your post must be at least one paragraph. That's 5 to 7 sentences so you can develop your thought. Then your task is to respond to another classmate's post thoughtfully. Not I agree, not good job, but actually engaging in their idea. So remember, I'm looking very closely at the meaning that you're making online in the discussion, and I can only tell what you're learning based on what information you share. So it's your job to respond thoughtfully to other people, latch onto an idea, and continue that conversation. Maybe ask someone a question or try to engage with them in a thoughtful way to where you're actually having a discussion. So again, that is the second discussion for week 6. The last thing that we're doing this week that I've been pushing for a few weeks is evaluating yourself through weeks. Now it's going to be weeks 1 through 5 because we're now currently on week 6. So if you click on it, it's just an assignment in the assignment folder. And what the assignment says is, please write me a 1-page analysis on your progress in this class so far and post it to assignments. No one else is going to see this. This is your kind of your self-evaluation. So what you're doing is, the purpose here is to raise awareness of your goals and actions, to remind yourself that you can change your habits and reflect on your actions for future improvement. So I'm just going to edit this right now while you're online with me on the video. Weeks 1 through 5, evaluation. You are going to just kind of evaluate your progress. How is it going? Are you getting your discussions in on time? Are you really pushing yourself to engage in ideas? And so I have some questions for your self-analysis, and you can check out those questions. They're bulleted here. How is taking this English VO1A hybrid online course going for you? What is working well and what obstacles have you encountered? Give details and be specific. How well have you managed your time for schoolwork? What schedule have you set for yourself? What distractions, if any, seem to be getting in your way? In what ways can you improve in this area? Again, this is not to be mean or harsh or judgmental of yourself. This is to be mindful and aware. Once you notice your habit, that's when you can continue to make better choices or more positive choices that are going to serve you well and help you out. And the last question is, what are your goals for this course and how are you working toward reaching them? Be specific and give examples. So for instance, if one of your goals is comprehension and really understanding what you're reading, then annotating and other soft skills are going to be helping you. So annotating is highlighting, underlining, actually engaging with the text with a pen or a marker. That would be a skill that would help you with comprehension. Another example would be if you're working on comprehending, your goal is, I want to understand what I read. Then you're going to reread. You're going to read it not once, not twice, but maybe 3 times, depending on your comprehension level. Every time you read something, you're going to sink deeper into understanding it. That goes for every single thing that you read. Just like when you watch a movie more than once, you notice things. Reading is the same way. So again, those are your tasks for this week. You have 2 discussions and then the self-eval. So I wish you luck. I hope you have a great week. Any questions that you have, you can post in the discussion, and we can talk it out. Remember, this is our safe space where we're practicing our skills. So I encourage you to be courageous, be brave, post even if you're not sure, and I promise you that someone else will respond to you and come to your aid if you're lacking in confidence, because that's what we do for each other in our community, is we help each other out. So again, that's what's happening this week. I hope you have a wonderful week.